Hi guys, Mr. Hill here with your maths lesson for today. We spent a lot of time working on multiplication. We've got to some huge answer numbers and we've done really well with it. What we're going to do today, we're going to do the inverse of multiplication. We're going to be looking at division. So our learning objective today, can I divide a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number? Before we get started, there's some vocabulary I want to go through with you. Some words I'm going to be using, I want to give you the definitions of so you understand what we mean when we talk about these things. Divide, dividing, divided by, and divided into. This is how we're going to break the number up. To divide something, we're breaking it into parts, working out how many will be in each part. So if we divide a pizza, we cut it up into slices and we pass them around. So if I cut the pizza into 8 slices, I've divided it into 8 slices. Grouping, sharing, share equally. These are just other ways of saying divide. For example, share 10 sweets between 10 children. How many sweets does each child get? Now we could just randomly hand them out, or we could make this a proper calculation. We could then change the question slightly. Share equally 100 sweets between 10 children. How many sweets does each child get? That means we need to put them into groups. So it's just going to have lots of, so it'll be how many lots of 10 do we get out of 100? So we know from our times tables that 10 times 10 is 100. So it's 10 lots of 10 make up 100. So each child would get 10 sweets. Unfortunately, not all the time when we're doing divisions, we get perfectly nice, neat answers without anything left over. So these are called remainders. So as I said, it won't be possible to equally divide a number, and there'll be some left over it's really annoying, but there'll be what's called a remainder, which we can't divide because it's smaller than the number we're dividing by. So let's get started. Something to warm you up. Few quick divisions here to see what you can remember, see how you get on. Pause the video here to complete these. Right, ready for the answers? Number 1, 40 divided by 4. We can do this quite easily. We know our 10 times table, and we know that 4 tens makes 40. Nice and simple, that one. Number 2, 12, another nice friendly number there. And we know that 4 threes make 12, so it's going to be 3. So for these first two, we can use our times table knowledge. Now question 3, 13 fours. So 13 lots of 4 make 52. We don't know our 13 times table, but we do know our 12 times table, and this is 1 lot of 4 on from 4 times 12. 84 divided by 7 is 12, so that's in our 12 times table. So these ones, just to get you going, get you thinking how you're going to split numbers up into different numbers of lots. So there are 4 lots of 10 in 40, 4 lots of 3 in 12, 13 lots of 4 in 52, and 12 lots of 7 in 84. So how do we do division? I've got my number here, 39. I've got 3 tens and I've got 9 ones. And I'm going to split them out into my 3 pots. So I'm going to put, so let's see how many we've got all together. We've got 12 counters all together. So I'm going to put those into the pots one at a time. So I'll put 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom right, 1 in the bottom left. I'm going to keep doing that until I've used them all up. So let's see how that's going to end up looking. There we go, done. I've finished my division. I've divided 39 equally by 3. Except I haven't. What I've actually done, in my top circle, I've only got 4. If you look at our place value counters, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. Bottom right hand side, I've got 2 tens and 2 ones. That's 22. Bottom left, I've got 1 10 and 3 ones. That's 13. So I haven't shared this equally. So we need to think of a way that we can do this equally, that we can repeat over and over again, that we have a nice, simple way to do it. So I've got my 39 in my counters. There's my calculation. So I'm going to use the grid again. I'm going to show you a different way of doing this. I'm going to show you how you can do it using some coins that you might have at home to help you with this. I'm just going to switch cameras. I'll be straight back. Okay, I'm back. I've written my calculation out here and I've gone and got myself some coins. So I'm using 10p's for my 10. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of those. And I'm using pennies to represent my ones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. So what we're going to do, we're going to set our grid up. So I'm going to have my 10s here. And neatly draw a line down the middle. Obviously you guys will use a ruler when you do this. And I'm going to have my ones on this side. So I've got my 2 digits for my columns here. I'm dividing it by 3. So I'm going to split my columns and I'm going to divide them into 3 rows. So I've got 1 row, 2 rows, and 3 rows there. So that's my grid split out. So I'm ready to go. So now all I've got to do is start dividing. So I'm going to start with my 10s. So I'm going to put 1 in each row and we're done. So I've got 10 in each row. I'm now going to come and look at my ones. So I'm going to start laying these into each row, one at a time, making sure that I can complete my calculation like that. So I've completed my calculation. I've got 1 10. So I've shared my 10s equally. I've shared my 1s equally. I've got 1 in each row. Now, all I need to do to work out my answer is count what I have in each row, or one of my rows, because that's how many lots I've split it into. So I've got 1 10 and 1, 2, 3 1s. That gives me 13. So I can say 39 divided by 3 equals 13. Here we are back in the classroom again. So we've got a new calculation here. We've got 45 divided by 3. The process is the same. I'm going to set our grid up with our 10s and our 1s. 3 rows, 1 for each of the numbers. So we're dividing by 3, there's 3 rows. If we were dividing by 4, we'd have 4 rows. If we were dividing by 5, we'd have 5 rows. If we were dividing by 2, we'd have 2 rows. That's how it works. So we need to make sure the rows are the same number of rows as the number we're dividing by. Now, this is slightly different. We've got 45 divided by 3. So I've got my 4 10s, my 5 1s. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 1s and share them out. So I've done that, but I've got a 10 left over. I've got a remainder that I can't split evenly into my 10s, because I can't have 2 10s in one row and 1 10 in the other 2 rows. It's not shared equally. So what I need to do, I need to exchange my 10 for 10 1s, because we all know that 10 1s make 1 10. So I'm going to do that exchange now. There we go. As if by magic, we now have 10 1s. I'm now going to go through the same process again. I'm going to share those out. Before we do that, let's just have a look at a part whole model here. We've got 45, we've taken 30 out, we've got 15 left. So we should have 15 1s, which we do. What we need to do now, we're going to go through, we're going to share these out. So we've got 5 will end up in there, 5 in there, and 5 in there to give us our answer. Looking at the part whole model, we've got one multiple of 10 and one multiple of 5. They're two times tables that are really easy. So reading across the rows, we've got 15 in each row. Miscounted there. So that's our answer, 15. If we're going to do that with the coins, I'll just flip back my camera and I'll show you how to do it with the coins. Okay, here we are back with the coins. So I've got my 4 10s for my 40 and my 5 1s for my 5. So I've got 45. One in each row there. I can't put any more because if I'm sharing, I need to make sure I finish in the last row with nothing left. I've got nothing left here, but I haven't shared it equally. So I need to do a little bit of magic with this one. So here we go. Are you watching? There we go. So I've turned my 110, into 10 ones. And I've got the 5 ones I started with here as well. So I've got 15 ones in total. So what I need to do now, I'm going to share these out one at a time into each row, same as we did with the 10s. And I put them all into the right place. So there we go. And then I've got 3 left, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 110, 5 ones, 45 divided by 3 is 15. Okay, I've shown you a way of doing it with practical objects you might have at home. You can always draw these out as well. Have a go using some place value counters, either drawn out or using coins if you've got them. Have a go at these questions, and when you're ready, press play to carry on. Pause here. How did we get on with those? Let's have a go through the answers. Question 1. We've got 66 divided by 3 to give us 22. B, 86 divided by 2 to give us 43. C, 50 divided by 5 gives us 10. D, 48 divided by 4 is 12. E, 13 equals 39 divided by 3. And F, 84 divided by 4 equals 21. Now, looking at number 2, Dexter's working out 56 divided by 4 using a place value chart. He's saying he can't do it because I have counters left over. Do you agree with Dexter? If you said no, well done. He can exchange. If you remember my little magic trick I did with the coins, I magically changed 1 10 into my 10 ones. He could have done the same, which would have given him 12 ones, which is what the answer is. So working it out, the answer is actually 14. Question 3. So this will be looking at your exchanges in here. So taking your 10s and turning them into 10 lots of 1. A, 72 divided by 3 is 24. B, 92 divided by 4 is 23. C, 65 divided by 5 is 13. D, 48 divided by 6 equals 8. E, 15 is 45 divided by 3. And 64 divided by 4 equals 16. Let's move on. Let's carry on with our practice. 51 divided by 3 is our next question. Now, we looked at a part-whole model very briefly when we were dividing 45. So let's go back to that idea. Using a part-whole model, we partition a number. So 51 partitions into what? Now, we could partition it into 10s and 1s, like this. That doesn't help us with our division, though, because 50 is not a multiple of 3. Neither is 1. So we need to think about working in multiples of what we're dividing by, so we can split our number up and make it into nice, manageable pieces. So I can't divide either of those by 3. What could I do instead? I could take 10 lots of 3 for 30, take that away, and that leaves me with 21. Both of these are in the 3 times table. So 10 threes are 30, nice and easy. How many 3s make 7? Sorry, giving you the answer there, haven't I? Because I got myself in a muddle. How many lots of 3 make 21? As I've already said. So it's 7. So you add the 2 together, 10 add 7 will give you 17. Have a go at these ones. What multiples of 4 and 5 do I know? This will help you. Pause the video here and complete your work. Okay, let's go through the answers together. So I've got 64 divided by 4. So I'm going to draw out my part-whole model. I've got 64 in here, and I have my 2 parts. So I've got my whole at the top here and my 2 parts. I'm going to take a multiple of 10. So I've got 4 times 10, that's going to be 40. I'm going to take that out. It's going to leave me with 24. Those are my 2. So I can now really easily, if I divide this by 4, that gives me 10. As I said, I know it's a multiple. 24, might need a bit of working out with that one. It's 6. I'm going to divide that by 4 to give me 6. I'm then going to add these 2 together to give me 16. So my first answer, 64 divided by 4 equals 16. Moving on, 75 divided by 5. It's exactly the same process. My whole at the top, 75. My 2 parts coming off. I'm going to take 10 lots of 5, that's 50, as one of my parts. That leaves me with 25. So I've got 50. I'm going to divide that by 5, which will give me 10. 25. Divide that by 5 to give me 5. Add these 2 together to give me 15. So my answer there is going to be 15. Okay, it's your turn now. Some more questions on the screen here for you to have a go at. Question 4, Kim has 92 beads. She wants to share them equally between 4 friends. How many beads will each friend get? And then number 5, we've got more than, less than, or equal to make those statements correct. Pause the video now and complete your work. Okay, ready for some answers? Here we go. 92 beads shared equally between 4 friends. Each friend will get 23 beads. Doesn't matter which way around you've done it, whether you've used your grid and your counters, you've drawn out the grid with the counters, or you've used the part-whole model. Either way works really well. With the part-whole model, you could have done it where you had 2 parts of 40. So that's 2 lots of 10 lots of 4. And then had the 12 left over to give you the 3. That works well, and you could also have done it using the grid we showed you earlier. There's the answers to your greater than, less than, or equal to statements. If you feel like you need to go back over this video, please do. They're there. The ideas in here, or the methods in here, are there to help you. Have a go with them. Try some different numbers with them. Maybe challenge yourself to do some different questions with it, and have a bit of a play around using both methods. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Stay safe.